What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. And in this video, we're going to be unboxing the rotating assembly for the next motor that we're building for the Oldsmobile. I've been waiting for this forever, and I'm super excited to go through this with you guys and show you how these components are going to create a massive amount of horsepower for this next stage. But before we do that, make sure to leave a like below, hit subscribe for more videos like this, and without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so first part of this kit is going to be the crankshaft. Now, all of these parts are forged, and this one is pre-balanced, so you can see they drill out part of the actual metal itself to pre-balance it so everything flows perfectly inside the motor. Now, this specific crankshaft is a stroker crankshaft. So what they do is they actually have these journals here, and these journals are where your rods connect to. Now, basically what they do is they extend out the journal so there's more drive for your piston to go further into the cylinder, which creates essentially more cubic inches, and it also creates for a longer stroke. So that gives you more horsepower, higher compression, and a multitude of other things. But this is top quality forged, all forged, and it is awesome. So this is the first part of the kit here. Next, we're going to take a look at the rods and the actual pistons that connect to the rods and kind of explain what those are going to do for the motor. But this is awesome. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rods and the pistons. All right, everyone. So next we have our connecting rods and our pistons here. Heading over to the connecting rod, you'll see again that all these are forged internals. So just a lot more structural integrity. And with this one specifically in these connecting rods, you can see they have this H-beam design in the center. Now what that does is it just makes it a lot stronger and withstands a lot more horsepower due to that design. These specific connecting rods can handle up to 1,500 horsepower. So our goal is definitely to create a lot of horsepower, and this kit's gonna help us do that. So these things are top of the line, awesome. Now we're gonna head over to our pistons. With the piston here, you can see that they have a shorter skirt design. So with a shorter skirt design, that allows the piston to actually go further down into our cylinder wall. Since the crankshaft, like I said, has that offset that drives it further down, it's also going to clear the crankshaft inside the motor. They also have this valve relief at the top of the piston. You can see the dome dish here. That's going to give me the 9.83 to 1 compression ratio. So this motor is going to have a lot of compression, specifically for a blower application, which we will do down the line, of course. But yeah, these are top of the line, forged, everything. The brand is Eagle Performance. They make a lot of really great racing parts, so feel free to check their products out if you guys are in the market to build your own next racing motor. But next we're gonna look at some of the bearings and how those all connect to the pistons, to the connecting rod, and to the crankshaft. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, so next we have our main bearings and our rod bearings. So with our main bearings here, these are installed into the actual engine block itself, and then these go onto the crankshaft when the crankshaft is laid into the motor. So right here is where our main bearings are going to connect to our actual crankshaft itself. Now going over to our rod bearings here, these rod bearings actually get installed inside of our connecting rod, hence the name rod bearing. So these actually split in half here. It's hard to see the line, but these actually get taken apart, and these rod bearings get inserted into the center here of your rod. That rod is then connected to the crankshaft itself right here, and then from there we have our piston head that gets connected on top of the actual rod itself here. They have a bearing that gets pressed inside of the rod, and that then creates your rotating assembly. So it's a 1,000-foot view to kind of see how the rotating assembly all gets assembled and gets put all together inside the block. We will have a video that's going to show the full process, but this is more informational to show you guys the breakdown process of how a rotating assembly is blueprinted and put into a motor. All right, everyone, so now that we went ahead and went over the actual rotating assembly and all the components and how they're going to break down and fit together, the next step is going to be taking my pistons to my machinist, where he's then going to mic them out, and that's going to allow him to figure out how much he needs to hone the block out to. Because this is a blower application, that's super essential to make sure when this gets really hot, that everything expands correctly and nothing blows up per se. The block has already been pushed 60 thousandths over, and after everything's said and done, this should be a 496 cubic inch motor, or maybe even 500 cubic inches. So it's going to be absolutely insane. There's going to be a ton of horsepower. This thing is going to be a handful, to say the least. But make sure to subscribe so you guys can see the future content with this build. Make sure to drop a like as well. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.